and welcome to another episode of the Talking into Profit show. I was just laughing with Seamus because uh, Restream had lovingly disconnected us from both YouTube
Yeah.
and LinkedIn right before we got on the show. So if you are in the audience, please let us know you're actually seeing us because we're not entirely positive, although it's telling us we should be live on those channels. But let us know. Let us know where you're coming in from and that you can see us. This show is all about where we bring experts in their niche and have a conversation on a topic that I know both you and me are interested in learning more about so that we can talk our way into more profits, of course. So this is your chance to show up and get your questions answered by both my guest expert, which is Seamus Corey today, and myself. Uh, Still hoping we are actually connected. Somebody will get in there. We do love it when you guys join the conversation. So drop your thoughts, opinions, and questions into the comments. Be aware there is a bit of a lag. There they're coming. Yeah, cool. They're seeing us. Before we see them,
Woo-hoo!
yeah, look at that. We've got people in the room. We got Rudy and Beth and David and Willie. Thank you guys. Yeah, Restream lately has been a little bit funky where they've been doing some updates. So occasionally, like today, I had connected YouTube and LinkedIn earlier and got on here with Seamus, and it was like, oh shit, you're supposed to go live? Where are you going live? I'm like, what do you mean, where am I going live? And there is our requisite siren, everybody. We must have one score right at the beginning.
Woo-hoo!
Look at that, Seamus. Yeah, so Seamus is with me today. Seamus is a well-being consultant, a mental health practitioner, and a best-selling co-author. I didn't know that about you, Seamus. We're going to talk about your book. Just a mention of that because I want to know. And you're also an accomplished boat run player.
I
Which,
am.
how did you get into that?
Yeah, well, it happened a long time ago. I've been playing the bodhrán, which is an Irish instrument. It's a percussion instrument. Like any young Irish person growing up in Ireland in the early 1970s, we I was born into a family of music and song and story, and as part of my own development, you go away to learn how to dance, you go away to learn how to play a musical instrument. So I was initially put on the tin whistle, or the penny whistle as they used to call it, which was an air instrument. It was made out of 10, six keys, and you learned how to play it. But I just couldn't manage it. I just couldn't read. I just couldn't read notes. I just couldn't understand how the thing worked. So in frustration, I came home and snapped the penny whistle or the tin whistle in two, and I just said, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. And soon after that, I kind of had a sense of natural rhythm, and I always used to tap on things and play on saucepans and pans and all that sort of stuff. And another musical teacher thought, "Oh, well, let's do this with this natural sense of rhythm. I think there might be something here." She saw something in me. She saw something. She saw that potential. Um, so for a whole year, Heidi, I didn't have an actual instrument. All I had was a stick and a piece of cardboard, which was my practice instrument, because the instruments at that time were really expensive, and my mum and dad didn't really want to invest in an instrument I was going to break in half. Right? Let's just call a spade a spade. I mean,
Understandable.
wise understanding. So after a year playing on this stick and this piece of cardboard, I, I kind of learned some rhythm, and I learned some tips and techniques. And when I was about 12, uh, my mum took me to the local music store, took me downstairs, took me by the hand, and she purchased my first ever bowron for me that I still have. And it kind of went from there, and I found my niche, I found my passion, I found something that I was really good at. And yeah, subsequently went on to win medals and win awards and play in
Oh, wow.
some amazing stages with some amazing Irish musicians, the best of whom I can call out today is Christy Moore. I shared the same stage as Christy Moore, who, if you come from Ireland, is a wonderful, wonderful Irish singer, songwriter, and folk artist, who at that time, and continues to sell out to packed audiences across the world. So I shared the stage with him back in 1988. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Um,
So
and
you got your ideas of learning to collaborate and stuff coming basically from the music
Yeah, from
industry.
music, yeah.
Yeah.
Musicians on their own, can bring their skill, but actually, when the musicians come together and play in a band or play in a group, all with their own little skill sets, but when they play in unison and play together and play in harmony, it's just heaven on earth, really.
That's so awesome.
It's my sweet spot, and any chance I get to play music, I will do. I haven't played it for a while. The instrument's been in the case for a wee while, so it's something I need to kind of
Seamus,
rejig.
it's time to get it out. I think we need at least a small video of you playing.
Okay, deal
Just
done. I'll put it up there so you can see the instrument in action, as it were.
I think we totally need that from you.
Don't
So
don't give me high fives on the chat if you want to see that.
yeah,
And I
everybody,
suppose.
come on. Let's get Seamus to go do a video with us. Let us know. Michael's just joined us. Carolyn's just joined us. Let us know in the comments if you want to see Seamus on social media. I'm going to challenge him and actually put it on LinkedIn.
Okay, I will. I will. The LinkedIn police might like it, but I
Oh, fuck the LinkedIn police.
come on, let's do it.
And yes, we've just dropped our first F bomb of the day.
I like it. I like
we
it.
got to go on. If you guys are not connected and following Seamus already, I highly recommend that you do over on, I mean, he's on LinkedIn. He's, of course, on YouTube. He gave me his LinkedIn to drop because he would love to for you guys to connect with him there. So make sure you're connected. Oh, look at the high fives are coming in.
Thank you,
Seamus,
David
you're going to have
Medina.
to do
I know
it.
you. I know you. I have to do it now.
you we knew our guys were going to actually make that happen, right? I mean, our
Yeah.
founders network guys, all of them were definitely going to do the high
Yeah.
fives and make sure that you do this live. Oh, look, Willie,
Woo!
I'd pay to see that. Woo!
Willie. Wow. Thank you so much, my friend.
See, this is where collaboration starts, guys. This is
Oh
where it
my
all
word. Oh
starts.
my word. Fantastic. Fantastic.
So, I guess we're gonna get blessed with two sirens today, guys.
Woo-hoo.
um, so while we're getting ready to dive into all this, and I want to know from all of you in the audience, what are your biggest concerns with doing collaborations in your business? Is there a reason that you don't do them, that you hold back, or you just haven't dived in because you're afraid of something? Give us your reasons in the comments for what is it? Or maybe you are doing collaborations. Tell us you're doing them and the success you had as well. But while you're answering that question, we're going to dive in real quick with telling you how we met,
Mhm.
because it's a really cool story through Founders Network. Rudy, Albert, we're definitely shouting you out. We're fans. And we got dropped into a one-to-one room, and I was looking at Seamus. We had been at a couple of meetings, so I kind of already knew a little bit what he did. And I'm thinking, oh, we're going to have a cool conversation with a guy, but I'm going to walk away that we have nothing in common. And it turned out in those 8 minutes, not only did I change my mind, it opened my mind to even bigger. I mean, I already know peers and complementary niches. I'm already a huge collaborator and introduction connector, but it expanded my mind on truly how much bigger of an area that peers from complementary niches can come from. And that was the cool thing about meeting Seamus, was it really, really opened my mind even more on who a potential collaboration partner can be. And because here we are today, we are here on this show. I have been on his podcast, which is coming out sometime this month, right? Or
Yeah,
did it
it
get
will
pushed?
be. Yeah, it will
Yeah.
be either this month or next month. We're running, as we've already said. we're running a little bit behind at the moment in terms of schedule, but we're coming back on stream very, very quickly. So yeah, and I think I just love our story, Heidi, of how we got together. It's like, the scales fell from our eyes, and we realized that we had so much in common, even we were coming from different industry backgrounds, right? You from very much a social media background and marketing background, and I from a wellness and a mental health background. And it was through that discussion, and I want to really shout out here Albert and Rudy of the Founders Network for the amazing job that they've done in putting together such an amazing network. And I suppose it's through the connection and collaboration of like-minded individuals. We no longer see our differences, but we see our similarities.
Hmm.
And certainly, I don't know if it's been for you, Heidi, but it's certainly been for me in the conversations I've had with similar founders on the network, that I'm amazed. I'm actually amazed, and very little amazes me, but I'm amazed that we have so much in common, and
Yeah.
so powerful in terms of collaborative ability that enables uh, magic to happen. And this is the type of magic that we're talking about today, right? From
Yeah.
from an 8 minute conversation, you've been on my podcast, I've been on your podcast. You have shared collaborators with me, I have shared collaborators with you. And our collaboration stream is widening, almost on a weekly basis, right?
Yeah. And not only that, we also now support each other. We're cheerleaders. I mean, for each other and everybody in our networks. But you just having even another supportive peer within your circle, within your network, for even when you have those bad days that you jump on and can make you smile, that's worth a ton.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think as founders and people who run their own businesses, while there are many perks with it and many good things about it, at times it can be a lonely environment in which we work, right? Because
Yeah.
we are the sole decision makers, we are the chief executives of our own organizations, of our own projects, and we make the decisions on a day-to-day basis. And it's nice, like you said, to be able to bounce off to like-minded individuals and just share a commonality in terms of purpose and mission and vision and value that strengthens our hand and strengthens my hand, and it inspires me actually to
Yeah.
do to do some better work, learning from the shoulders and joints of others who have already gone before me or coming behind me or just starting their businesses. And again, we have both spoken to people at various junctures in terms of their business life, and both at the beginning, at the middle, or maybe towards the end of their business career. And it's a it's always a pleasure. I think it's always a privilege, and it is always a sacred ground to be on when you get a chance like we are doing today to be able to chat together, talk together, collaborate together. Because for me, it's about collaboration and not competition. It's about seeing the similarities that exist between us and working to our strengths rather than being in this dog eat dog kind of environment where
Right.
nobody wins, right? Nobody wins.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's important. Let's talk about that abundance mindset that comes along with this right now because it's so key and important to a good collaboration and building trust that you have an abundance mindset. And guys, by abundant mindset, what we mean is that you believe there's enough pie for everyone and that by working
Yeah,
together, we just make a bigger pie. We
yeah,
don't take anybody's piece of pie, we just make bigger pie. So that's what an abundance mindset is. And it's so important for good collaborations because if you're living in a scarcity mindset, then and you're sitting there worried, well, I don't want to do this because somebody's going to steal my clients. Nobody can steal your clients. Your clients are your clients as long as you're showing up. If you're not showing up, then yeah, of course they went with someone else. That's
yeah,
on you.
yeah.
But your collaboration partner can never get your clients. It just doesn't work that way.
No, no, it certainly doesn't. And I think one of the key issues I find with the lack of collaboration today is the is trust, really.
It is.
It's building that relationship, and it's building that business relationship, and it's something that you and I, Heidi, take very seriously in terms of the work.
We
And I
do.
know the work that you do, that it's not going to come simply by going in there and presenting a presentation and say, "Wham, bam, thank you, man, thank you very much, sign the contract and see you later." But
It
it's actually,
doesn't work.
it doesn't, it never works like that. It never works like that. It's Hollywood, right? It's not going to happen like that. It happens when we do the real work of actually trusting ourselves to build a relationship with one another. And that's the scary bit, right? Because in that, there's a fear that you might be rejected,
Yeah.
a fear that you mightn't be accepted, a fear that you might be laughed out of the room. But there's also the positive side of it, that you might be accepted. You might
Yeah.
begin to open doors. You might begin to widen your horizons. You might just begin to see things you've never seen before, or gone places you've never gone before. And I see you and I, and the founders who are with us today, as adventurers, right? We are adventurers, right? We go boldly, and in a very Star Trekky type term,
Let's
we're,
bring it.
I'm sorry, I'm a Trekkie
I
fan.
love
So
it. Total fan.
yeah, yeah. So we go boldly where nobody's gone before, right? We go into the deep grass, and I think in the long grass, where we find our passion and our vibe and our purpose and our mission. It's there that we do our best work. We don't do our best work in the comfort zone, right? So we have to step out of ourselves. We have to trust ourselves, trust the process, and trust the relationship, that it's there for our good. And by giving ourselves totally to that, we're going to receive a lot back, right?
I think so, and to address some of the fears that, because I'm hearing, I just, and then we'll get to some of the comments real quick, but I one of the big objections I hear to this a lot is that A, it's going to take too much time, and
Mm,
then B, I've been burned before.
yeah.
Well, I've been burned before too, guys, by
Yeah, we
collaboration
have.
partners.
Yeah,
We
we have.
I consider that lessons. That means I just didn't pick well. And then sometimes it has nothing to do with you. You did everything you could possibly do on your side, it had nothing to do with you. And shit happens. It's
Yeah,
not going to always go great, but don't stop, because if I stopped by the amount of collaboration partner ships that failed, I would just be hiding myself in a closet somewhere and not working with anyone ever, and not have any
yeah.
friends or anything, because that's just, it happens.
It
And
does. It absolutely does, and I
yeah,
love. I love. I spoke to Doris Walsh, and shouting out to Doris this afternoon, my amazing friend, and she's so passionate and so vibrant, and she put it so succinctly to me. And again, it's part of my continued learning and wisdom, that for her, if she gets a series of no's, she celebrates that,
yeah, me too.
because it's actually just heading towards your next opportunity. She turns no on its axis and goes, okay, no actually means just your next opportunity.
Yeah. No,
It's very,
I agree with that, because if you are not getting no's, that also means you're not putting yourself out there enough. So I celebrate the no's as well,
yeah,
because no's mean you're putting yourself out there. We've got to go through the no's to get to the yeses. And totally agree with you on Doris. Doris is, I met her through Founders as well, the same as you. She's also a member of our collective. And oh my God, just such a valuable person, and an
100%.
amazing soul and spirit, that, she's incredible in how she collaborates and shows up with her zest in life, no matter what's handed to her. I mean, there's so much, as if you don't know Doris Walsh, connect with her as
Connect
well.
with her. Yeah. In fact,
Totally brilliant.
just look. Albert and Rudy haven't asked me to say this, but just join the Founders Network. It's the most amazing network, apart from your own. That in terms of the collective, that you can just join it, to see
Yeah,
the amazing founders we've got in there. It's just absolutely amazing.
it is. It totally is. Let's talk to some people in our audience real quick. We've got some
Okay.
stuff going on over here. We've got Timothy here. Hey Tim. He's from the UK. I played the violin and the guitar, and it's amazing when you get people together. Music does bring, I mean, that's the ultimate collaboration, right? As
It is.
musicians,
It is
singers.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
But we do it in business too, same way. We just play different instruments.
yeah, yeah.
Beth, every time with a siren. Yes, Beth. And today we got two bonus. It's because Seamus is here.
Oh, yes.
I don't care what it is. I go
Bring the
live. There's
guns, man. Bring
it
the
won't be a
guns.
siren all day. I go live. There's a
Yeah,
siren.
yeah, yeah.
David, I know for some it's because they're afraid of competition with other peers. It is. It's a fear. And I get it's a fear, but when you let go of that, I mean, look at this. This is amazing stuff that happens. And I get that somebody's sitting back right now. I can hear the brain monkeys right now. They're saying,
Mm.
well, you and Seamus don't have the exact ideal client. So, of course, you're not worried about it. Guys, I work with marketing experts. Seamus, I'm sure you work with some people that do what you do. I
Yeah,
work with marketing experts. I work with sales experts. I work with business coaches. Well, guess what? I do all three of those things.
yeah,
It doesn't matter.
yeah.
Doesn't matter. If
No,
they're good.
you're absolutely right, and the same for me. I work with, in collaboration with the best practice that's out there in terms of wellness and good mental health. And I don't mind having in my, circle, in my network, experts who are more expert than me,
Yeah.
because it's those masters in their field that actually inspire me on, that enable me to grow and enable me to develop. They don't hinder me. You actually support me in the best possible way. So I
Yeah.
look to the leaders of the field, whether it be leaders in wellness or leaders in mental health, or thought leaders in those fields to to do two things. I think, Heidi. First of all, to ensure that I'm singing from the same hymn sheet as current practice, right? Because as well as I do in our various fields. Again, this is where similarity abounds. Things change very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Things change, certainly in wellness and certainly in mental health, as they do I know in your own area of work. And it's important to try and, if we can, keep ahead of that curve to see what's coming down the road. And I know for you, it's the interaction and interplay of AI and all that technology. For me, it's how AI interplays with wellness and mental health. And are we maybe looking 2 years down the road, not to meet a doctor, but actually to be assessed by an AI functioning robot that has all the answers to all the questions they ever need in terms of our wellness and mental health? It's scary to think about that, but it's certainly happening already in terms of some assessments that are taking place where AI now can assess your type of mental health condition that you have without ever seeing a specialist, without ever seeing a doctor. So those are some of the challenges. But equally, we need to ensure, I think, that when we collaborate for the right reasons and not for the wrong ones. We're not there to take the business for somebody. We're actually there to boost your business and boost
Yes.
my business at the same time. That's what
Amen.
that's what true collaboration is about. Do you know what I mean? We build each other up in the spirit of Ubuntu, right?
Yeah, well, it helps you. I mean, when you pick the right collaborators, and we're saying right, and let's talk a little bit too about what right means too in a second, right
Hmm.
collaboration partners. But it is about having the right people that are going to help you build you up in some way, challenge you, motivate you, inspire you, increase your visibility, make your credibility and authority bigger
Yeah,
because like I don't go on every podcast. I could easily I set my impossible challenge of being on 100 other shows this year. And right now I've had to put that in the back burner a little bit, being in this intensive coaching program I'm in. But I could have easily already filled that if I just took every podcast invite that comes to me and jumped on any podcast show that potentially goes with me, but that's not going to achieve that goal of the right collaborations
yeah,
because my goal is also to build my credibility, my authority, get myself seen in the right circles, the right places. And so that's why being being picky about who you collaborate with is important.
It is, yeah. Like I'm not going to collaborate with a brain surgeon because the brain surgeon won't do much for me in terms of my mission to wellness and mental health. However, he may have some information from me in terms of how the brain works and how we can ensure our brain works better. So again, I don't discount. There you go. Third siren, three in a row. It's a hat trick. Hat trick. Put your lottery tickets on, get some numbers out. It's three in a row, right? Woo. But it's about ensuring that the collaborations are right. Actually, that they're a good fit. But equally, with those that maybe aren't quite a good fit, you'll always learn something from every collaboration that you do. You'll
Mhm.
always be able to take away something you do. A great man called Willie Nicol, who was on this call, on this call today, only the other day said to me, if you can learn one new thing a day, you've learned something well. And I think every collaboration should have that mission statement at the front of it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Willie actually opened up our 2025 show this year. He was my first
Woo-hoo!
guest this year.
Fantastic.
So we were helping people get their 2025 mojo on. So Willie helped do that and wave that sage, the virtual sage. Willie and I helped wave that over 2024 and clear the air.
Yeah, yeah. No better man to do it. And what a powerful, amazing human being Willie Nicol is, and what an amazing story he has. And again, if you've not connected with Willie Nicol today, please do so. Connect with him on LinkedIn because you won't be disappointed. What an amazing story! What an amazing guy! What an amazing human being!
Yeah. And speaking of Willie, Willie was just on Beth Campbell's show, who was here this today
No
too, last
way!
Friday as
Wow!
well. So Willie's just
Wow!
making the rounds.
Willie, you are, man. Are we on a race, Willie? Are we on a race? Yeah.
So everybody, Willie is the cop who turned life coach, and he really works with men on helping get their mojo back up and really getting things. Oh, Willie's still recovering.
I
I can
love
see
it.
it, Willie.
I
We're
love
wearing
it.
you out.
I love it. Bring it on, Beth. That's what I'm saying. Bring it on. I'm ready for it. I am ready for it.
Yeah. So Beth had some good things to say about you, Seamus, which I think you guys just did a show. Are you coming on her show? I know she was
I'm
on.
coming on show. We had a discovery call, and I mean, our discovery call, Beth, should have been recorded. It was that good. So yeah, I'm due to land on Beth's show in mid-April or something like that, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's I think it's going to be a two-parter, Beth. I really think it is going to be a two-parter. I think it's going to be sequelized. I think it's going to be like Game of Thrones. I think it'll go into 7, 8, 9 parts, maybe 10 parts. Maybe don't know. Maybe not 10 parts because the last series of
Yeah.
Game of Thrones was rubbish, terrible, awful. Shame on you, R.R. Martin.
See, guys, but see what we're talking here. We're dropping examples of collaborations to you this whole time with these connections we've made with these people. And I mean, Beth's one of my best friends. And also, she's been a client. I mean, we connect and tell everybody about each other, whoever and everything. And then, of course, we've all met Invest Founders as well. We're going to keep shouting out founders today, apparently, but it's a great place to find good collaboration partners because the people there have that mindset. So it is a good place. You guys know, speaking of, since we are talking networking events, I'm going to shout out my own, which is happening next Wednesday.
Woo-hoo.
We also are huge on collaboration there too, and we do ours once a month. It's the Connect and Collab event. It's hosted every last Wednesday of most months, minus holidays and if I'm traveling. But the next one is next week on the 26th. Because of daylight savings time, it's at 1 p.m. Eastern at 5 p.m. UK still. You're all invited. Come join us. It's an hour and 15 minutes. We do some intimate one-to-one rooms. We do a few group rooms. We have an open chat discussion in the main room with everyone, which is freaking incredible with the collaboration that comes in and the thoughts and the ideas. And you just get to meet motivated, kick-ass service providers and coaches who absolutely are wanting to move forward with collaboration. So You guys, I'll drop the link in there for that. That was just such a perfect point. I could not shout that out and invite you.
Fantastic. Nicely done, Heidi. Nicely done.
So let's see real quick. Willie, two heads are better than one. Yes, Beth saying founders is the best as well. Willie has a friend who runs a CV writing business. They collaborate in advising retiring police officers about their next career moves. So,
Wonderful. Like it. Really like it.
yeah. Oh, April 18th, Seamus will be on the Thirsty Professional, which is on Fridays, guys, live here on LinkedIn as well and on YouTube.
Can't
So,
wait. Can't wait, Beth. You prepare
yeah,
now, Beth.
yeah.
Prepare now, Beth. Get
Yeah,
you.
Beth said you must attend the Connect and Collab networking event. I totally agree. But yes,
100%.
we all make good friends there as well. So let's get back on giving them some more gold about collaboration.
Mm.
What's your thing on what role, what mission, how does mission play in guiding the collaborative efforts, you think?
Yeah, I think it's clear for me that I need to be clear about my own mission,
Me
vision,
too.
value, and purpose. I need to be really clear on that because we work, Heidi, really hard, and we as founders work really hard to ensure that our mission, vision, value, and purpose is clear in our heads.
Hmm.
I've just seen Beth Ann's comment there. She's been preparing for my podcast for weeks. Prepare some more, mate. You'll need a day off after that session. But it's very important that I think in collaborating with somebody that they show or present or you instinctually feel some degree of alignment with your mission, vision,
Hmm.
value, and
Yeah.
purpose. And if that alignment is there, if that energy is there, if that I hate to use the word, but synergy, where it's
I hate
this,
that word, but it works.
synchronized energy between two people, then there's something to work on there. There's something to collaborate there. There's something to explore further there. And I've been in positions where, I felt the energy really strong. I felt a real alignment to the mission, vision, value, and purpose of my own work that I do, but also to the collaborators' work that I do, and we're being able to come together in that way a little bit more, and through our togetherness, actually, we grow a stronger mission, vision, value, and purpose because we align our missions quite well to strengthen the message really. And
Mhm.
if we're all saying the same thing, isn't it better that we say it from a collective viewpoint, that we say it from an individual viewpoint? Because it's a stronger message that goes out there, right?
Well, and think about this too. I mean, if you think about just living out in the world, a lot of the people that are doing better and more healthy are surrounded by the right group of people, right? That are helping build you
Yeah.
up, promote you, support you, put you out there in any way, shape, or form. And I think we've missed one important key here too about collaboration. That's pretty much telling people. I mean, we're just using the word collaboration. Maybe it's a little vague in that aspect. So for
Hmm.
me, and I think you're pretty set. I mean, obviously we're saying we can do shows back and forth, we can do all that, but it can be something as basic as you've made a we like each other's content, so we comment back and forth on each other, so
Yeah.
that helps boost our visibility on social media. That gets our message out further. It can be as simple as that, guys, that you just have regular people that you show up and you comment regularly. I know I have my favorite peers.
Hmm.
There is key there. Your ideal client does need to be in their audience otherwise. And I mean, I have a few people I just support because I love them and I just want to support them, and I'm not getting anything other than I love them. But for business purposes and things like that, we usually want to be a little more intentional.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, so we can be as something simple as commenting. It doesn't have to be on each of the shows. It doesn't have to be that, but it can be.
Mm.
It can be, and collaborations can. And here, I think here's where a lot of people really, I'm gonna have to say, fuck it up on this one. A lot of people, when they say the word collaboration, it just means you're gonna collaborate as they're gonna pay you as a client.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
thinking way beyond that. I mean,
Yeah.
collaboration, yes, can equal paying client as well. That is one thing. But we're thinking bigger also. We're thinking peers and complementary niches, like we are supporting each other and helping get us out there to a wider circle by sharing our audiences. You can host events together. Like Paul Banks and I are planning a paid workshop coming up in May. So shout out to Paul, because Paul's in a, have I introduced you to Paul yet, Seamus? Because if not, I need
Yeah,
to.
I don't think so.
Um,
I would love that introduction. See,
I will make that happen, because Paul is another connector like we are. He just loves it, and he's always sending me the best people to introduce me to the best people, and I'm sending people his
yeah,
way too. But again, here we are. We're going to be collaborating, doing a paid workshop. There's so many different ways you can collaborate. It's really up to your imagination on what that's going to look like. But I do think we
it,
needed to share that, right?
absolutely, and I think you're right. It does go beyond economics. It does go beyond just the contractual element. I think it starts as a really trusting relationship and friendship, right? And we support one another. We look out for one another. We have each other's backs. If that's the extent of the collaboration, that is a pretty strong collaboration right there, right? If it goes to the next level, we end up doing work together and exploring maybe how we bring our two mindsets together and our two projects together to do a bit of joint working that enables a higher mission, vision, value, and purpose for both our organizations. Again, that strengthens our collaboration. So collaboration or connectedness or trustworthiness or relationship are all parts of the same coin in terms of collaboration. And it really is down to the individuals in question to really decide how that works. I don't know. You and I, Heidi, have both. You and I have both been there in terms of look. You speak to somebody maybe for an hour, it doesn't go any further. You speak to somebody,
Yeah.
for an hour, and it leads on to another conversation, which leads on to another conversation, which leads on to another conversation, and the conversation continues as it's happened with us, and
Yeah.
I've had people in my network that remain with me, that continue to support me, that continue to look out for me, that continue to have my back. I've actually never physically sat down with these individuals, and this is the magic of where we are right in the 21st century. I've not actually met them face to face, but I know where they are. I know where they are in the world. I know they've got my back. I know they share the same sense and mission and vision and purpose, that I have. And it's important that we explore a collaboration in all its beauty. It doesn't need to be a physical collaboration. It can be a digital collaboration. It can be it can be just simply catching a coffee with somebody once a month and saying how you doing, how are things going, and yeah, and shooting the breeze and see how it is. It means a whole load of different things to different people, and I just love the word collaboration. I hope it never goes out of use because it would be a sin to the human race if the word collaboration ever was destined for the bin.
I
Or the
don't think
words.
that's possible.
I don't think so. But I think what is important though, what is important, and we don't need to get ahead of ourselves here, is that it's even more important now to connect in a real space because we are surrounded by so much distraction in terms of social media that you end up sometimes wondering what's real and what's not. This is
Yeah.
real. The conversation we're having is real. The support we have for one another is real. This is real. This isn't fake news. This isn't being AI'd, put together. This is absolutely the real deal. And it's important, I think, as founders and as connectors to ensure that it continues to be real, not only for us, for the people we support and collaborate as well.
Well, that's such an important factor in it is having genuine connection, authentic
Yeah,
connections that are they're real. You know, you're not trying to
yeah,
force them. You're not doing them because you're milking it for what you get out of it. And they need to be two-sided, not just one-sided. A good collaboration must be two-sided.
yeah,
I mean, I know I've had a couple that it turned out I was doing all the work and stuff, and I finally had to set some boundaries and I had to set some standards and say, you know, I'm just not going to do this anymore. I'm just, you know, it's only benefiting them, not me. I was just talking to a friend actually yesterday, and she's been in this one where she's been referring this company and sending all kinds of work and stuff to them, and it was supposed to be a collaboration where they did return the favor, and that's not happening. And she's
yeah,
getting ready to have to say "c'est la vie," but and that happens. It happens, guys. Sometimes you just got to say, no, this isn't for me because you've made good boundaries for yourself. And but collaborations do have to be two-way, not just
a-
one way. They got to
absolutely.
benefit both.
Absolutely, you know, and they got to be you're absolutely right, Heidi. They have to be a mutual benefit to both parties involved in the collaboration. If one party is doing more and the other party is doing nothing or very little, then that's not a collaboration.
Mhm.
That's a different sort of relationship. That if it doesn't align with your mission, vision, value, and purpose, yeah, it's okay to say no. I think you should say no. I think you should move on, you know, because there are plenty more other collaborations, and there are plenty more good, honest people out there who are just dying to meet you and work with you.
Absolutely. Like Tim, he says, I found collaborations in corporate projects useful to help take the stress away. Ooh, up your alley there, Seamus. As you help can spread the specific parts of the projects. Ooh.
Completely agree, Tim. I think it's absolutely vital that we work to our individual skill sets, and if there are more skill sets required that require a collaborative approach, then why not? Why not?
I do that in my business because I learned this a long time ago. So the two of the businesses I built a landscape business way back in the day. And there was a lot of
Mhm.
people ask me, I didn't do irrigation. I didn't put in retaining ponds and walls and this kind of stuff. I let somebody else do it. I subcontracted it out to other people because that wasn't my magic. And then I'm doing the same thing now in my business. And this is another way you collaborate with, like Tim says here, is that stay in your magic. It's big enough what you do, and then you can collaborate. Like right now, I have other people I refer to do other things, like really getting your signature story down and dialed in. I for my coach Antonia for that. For repurposing video and podcast, I Paul Banks is the people I refer to that. If you really want to dive into email, that's Yuval Ackerman. I mean, I have all these people that I could do this stuff. I know how to do this
Mm,
stuff,
mm.
but that's not my magic. My magic's helping people learn how to have good conversations online. I mean,
100%.
that's where I shine.
You,
So why am I going to do all the rest of this? You know?
you're absolutely right, and equally, I like to shout out some of the collaborators that I work with in terms of my own business that are part of my posse, a part of my network. You know, and I shout out the amazing Gary Lynch, who is a wonderful digital media expert who took me from point zero to front page in terms of Google. And if you search for my name today, you'll see that I am page one on Google, and he's done
We've done
incredible.
that, Gary. We've checked. I
We've
checked
done
up
that,
on
and it works. And Gary knows that. That's his specialism. That's it. That's what he does best. And he's absolutely wonderful. If it's the legal stuff, then I speak to somebody like Ian Gregg, who takes care of all my legal stuff and contractual stuff if it comes up. You know, if I want, you know, my book published, I'm in collaboration with two amazing women in the United States, Angela DeMarco and Dana Sardano, you know, of Phenom Publishing, who are going to take my book and publish my book as and when it's ready. I know there's a short little issue of about 25,000 words that need to be put down on paper, but I'm 6,500 in, so I think I'm doing all right.
not bad.
We'll get there. The book will be out by the end of the year, hopefully. You know, if my fingers keep up and my keys keep pushing. But there are so many people that we bring in. I don't know anything about SEO. Gary does. I don't know anything about legals. Ian does. I don't know anything about publishing. Dana and Angela do. That's their specialism. That's what they're
Yeah.
so good at. And we trust the people we have in our circle, right, to be able to do that on our behalf. That frees us up to allow us to spread our magic, to do the work that we do, to allows us to continue to be inspirational like you are, Heidi, on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
and get our message out there without having the confines of having to do all that stuff that comes behind what we do. And by working in support with other people, we're able to achieve so much more.
Right. And it makes us so much more visible and lets us help more people in our zone of genius because we do that. It's
Yeah,
freaking incredible. As Willie gave us the definition, dictionary definition of collaboration, working together in a common purpose to achieve mutual benefit.
I love that, Willie. Thank you so much for that. I'm
And
going
he
to take
says it's
that.
much deeper than that. I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I,
totally agree.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think if you look at my T-shirt today, can I speak about my T-shirt? Would that be all right, Heidi?
Yeah.
I woke up this morning. I said to myself, I knew this show was coming on this evening, so I said, "What T-shirt am I going to wear today?" And it has to be the Ubuntu T-shirt, right? And I came across this word, a beautiful word, about a year ago, again through the influence of Dana Sardano, an amazing individual, an amazing writer in her own right, who's done some amazing work. And if you haven't reached out to Dana and Angela today, do so on LinkedIn. They're two amazing, universally energetic, passionate individuals. But Dana shared with me the story of Ubuntu. And Ubuntu is an African word, it's a Bantu word. And the rough definition in English of Ubuntu, yeah, it doesn't have a clear definition, but it really is defined as I am because we are. I am because we are. I am because we all work in collaboration together. We're part of that wider community. We're part of that small collaborative community, but we're part of a wider global community as well. And ultimately, we're all interconnected in some way. And it's about finding the connectedness between us that makes us stronger as a whole. And that's what Ubuntu kind of stands for. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
That's totally the spirit, the best shirt for today. And we do have to point out you are wearing a t-shirt in the UK today. It's
I
warm here
am. I
finally.
Willie can concur in Glasgow that it did reach 18 degrees in Glasgow today. Willie, am I right in that? Has it been more today in Glasgow? I think it has. But the sun has shone today. The sky is still blue. The sun is just setting over the horizon as we speak. And the red sky is appearing again to say that we're going to have another lovely day tomorrow. So I want to reach out and thank again, in a collaborative sense, Heidi for sending over the sun from Portugal. We've entered into a lease arrangement with the Sun over the next, the sharing the Sun actually on a 3 monthly basis. So we're going to have it for 3 months. There's people in the UK. It's then going to go back to Portugal for 3 months. It's then going to come back to the UK for 3 months. And then Heidi, you've recommended that what we do is just move to Portugal for the remainder for the winter.
I just think you should just come to Portugal for the winter and skip the UK cold winters because you guys have had it miserable this year.
Bad. We've had it bad. We've had bad with a capital B bad. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, everyone, as we're heading towards the end of our session, what
No way.
questions?
It can't be the end already.
I
I'm only
know,
warming up.
but
I'm not even got into second gear yet, Heidi.
he's just getting started.
I'm just
What
getting
questions
warmed
do you
up.
have for Seamus on collaborating and me? I mean, put in there what questions you have around collaboration in general. Drop them in the comments so we can answer them. And
Mm,
I also want to mention because I was talking about standards and boundaries,
mm.
which next week sales coach and consultant Lisa May Hubby is going to be joining me on the 27th to talk about exactly that. I don't know if you guys remember, she was here last month as well, and we just dropped the gold on how to position your offers as the painkiller for your clients' problems. And boy, did we bring it. If you guys want the replay, let me know. I will happily give you that link because she brought it. I mean, she's got 20 some years in this. She knows it. But we got off the show last time and we were like, we got to talk to everybody about standards and boundaries because it is keeping you from signing your dream clients. It
Amen.
is keeping you locked in relationships, bad collaborations, even because you're being polite and just not saying no because you haven't set the standards and you're not upholding them for yourselves. So we're going to be talking about that next week. So love all of you to join us for that. And Seamus, what's one small piece of advice that you want to leave our audience with today?
I would say, uh, in all honesty and sincerity, build, build a relationship with somebody. Get to know them. And it's through you really getting to know somebody that true collaboration happens. You just don't look to the surface, but actually dig deeper. Ask the questions that you want to ask. Um, you know, um, and I suppose it's yes about building that relationship because it's in building the true, honest, and authentic relationships with individuals that inspire true collaboration, and set us up really for a wonderful life and purpose and mission and vision and value, as long as you're clear on your mission, vision, and value, and that collaboration is in total alignment with what you're trying to achieve. If it's not, then it's not going to do you any good. It's not going to do the other individual any good. So move on.
Say no. No people pleasing.
Say no, and sometimes no is the hardest word to say, right? In the work that we do, because we're desperate to please people, and I think we're desperate to have a happy client, right? But sometimes, despite our best efforts, it's not going to happen, and all you can do is cut your losses and move on to the next client.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And then have an open mind. I mean, it's such a great piece of advice. Have an open mind because
Yeah,
if I hadn't of, that conversation with Seamus and I would have gone completely different. But just have an open mind and have a conversation. Talk
yeah,
to people, see where it goes because that's what I did. I mean, I literally went into that room originally thinking, I'm going to meet an amazing human being. We're going to have a cool 8-minute talk, and that's probably going to be it. Look where it came.
no chance, no chance. No, you're in my circle now, Heidi. You're not getting away that easy. There's
You're
absolutely
in mine
no.
as well.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. 100%.
Well, we
And you're right. It's about having a conversation, an honest,
talk to
human to you,
people.
human. Talk to people.
Yeah.
Don't use technology. Don't use platforms. Actually, talk to people.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's how you build relationships
Hundred
that can turn
percent.
into collaborations. I mean, you can't do it without talking to people because if you don't talk, it's all surface level.
It's not. I had a wonderful chat today with Sarah Kopacki this morning, and she told the story, which will come out in our own podcast episode, of how when she built her business and building her brand, and hope she doesn't mind me sharing this story, but actually she got a coach to tell her, well, how do people know about you? Because you've not shared your story, you've not put yourself out there. So she continues to speak now and meet people and talk to people and connect with people, which in turn, ends up in really strong collaborations for her. It's really that simple, right?
It's just that simple, right?
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
now, Seamus, before we dive, because Beth has given us a really good question here, but you have not done a shout out about your podcast. I
Fair
mean, we've
enough.
talked about it, but let's give them the name of it. Let's tell them what it is and where to find it.
Okay, all right. I have actually got three series. I'm a bit greedy when it comes to podcasts, and as I said before, we went live, Heidi. Um, I just love talking to people, and I just love it. And I've met some amazing people along the road that I've been on over the past year, and I really celebrate and shout to all my guests who've been on my podcast series. I have three. I have Wellbeing with Seamus, I have Mental Health Matters, and I have my current series, which is in the spotlight, which today logged its 20th episode, which is wonderful. I'm actually I'm going to probably top out that series to 30, which give or take celebrates the amount of time I've been in the UK. And that's a different story. But it's available on Spotify. It's available on YouTube, and my link to YouTube, I think you should have, Heidi. So if you want to put that up
I'm
on the chat,
dropping it right now.
lovely.
Here's a link to all three on YouTube of his
There you go.
podcast.
You get them all. Some amazing stories, some amazing collaborations. Uh, it all started with conversations that have turned into really strong friendships with all my guests and collaborators, and some amazing stories. Uh, and I suppose, yeah, I just love podcasting and I love talking, as you've probably appreciated. I just love getting into it, and I love meeting people, and I've always been good at it. I've always seen that as one of the key specialisms that I have. And if you go on there and listen to those podcast episodes, you'll get a sense of some of the amazing work that's been done there in our world today by some amazing people who are doing some inspirational work, you yourself included, Heidi.
Yep. Mine's going to be coming up. We will let you know.
We will
And
let you know.
let's answer Miss Beth's question here. She's getting us with an interesting one to close out the show. Any collaboration horror stories that don't do lesson? I'm going to let you start with this one.
Oh, boys, yeah. Yeah, it's all about ensuring. I think when we collaborate with somebody, that the collaborators are in alignment with each other's mission, vision, value, and purpose. I think when that goes out of sync, Beth, I think you end up with horror stories. And I remember one story of my own in particular where I was delivering a particular session and really getting into it in a passionate way and trying to develop a point. And, this manager put their hand up and said, "I'd like to stop you there. Can I call you out of the room, please?" So I was mid-session. I was in the session. I was mid-session. I was in my flow, as it were. So the manager took me outside and she said, "What are you doing?" I says, "Well, I'm delivering the session in the way that I've always delivered the session. I've done this for many, many years in this way, and it has a certain impact." She says, "I don't want that. Just, just, just give me the PowerPoint slides. Just,
Ooh,
just make it cold and clinical. Don't put any humanity in it. We didn't buy your humanity. We just bought the presentation."
you're shitting me.
No.
How did you finish that session after that?
Well, I finished it. I pulled back on my passion and humanity, and I just finished it as if I was delivering a pint of milk to the freezer. Really, you
Ouch.
know, I just this is this. Can you go into group? We'll discuss this. I took the passion right out of and the humanity right out of my presentation. At the end, it was quite interesting. By the end of the day, it was a really difficult session, probably one of the most difficult sessions I've had. But really, it taught me two things. One, I need to check beforehand that if I'm collaborating with anybody, that they're in alignment with the way I'm going to deliver my presentations, right? Because they are going to be passionate, they are going to come from a human perspective. I am going to share some personal stories, so suck it up. That's what it is. If you want that, that's great. If you don't, well then we're not in alignment with one another, and that's I just don't go in and deliver a cold clinical PowerPoint presentation. That's not what I do. The presentation is the very last thing I do, and I end up having conversations and making conversations with people. And obviously, for that manager, she didn't want that. She didn't want people engaging in conversation. She just wanted that cold, clinical. You're here to deliver a presentation. That's what you do. You're not here to engage with us. You're not here to collaborate with us. You're not here to
Mm.
open up the floor and open up discussion. So that was a horror story for me.
Mm.
It's the only time it's ever happened. The second story, I have to say to you, is even worse than that. And I remember going on a uh, uh, really powerful training program with a really powerful global international training company that are well recognized, and I won't mention them for various reasons. But at the end of the process, which took about 12 weeks, so it was like a really intensive coaching program to become an associate coach. The chief executive brought me into the room and he says, how do you think that went? I says, well, I think it went really good. I think I really feel a real sense of alignment and mission and vision and purpose of what you're trying to achieve. He says, I've got a problem with you though. I says, really? He says, what's your problem with me? He says, it's your accent. I says, it's my accent. I says, what exactly is wrong with my accent? It's not as if I can change it or modify it in any way. It's part of me, and this is who I am. He says, it's just bringing up really bad memories from me. I says, what do you mean bad memories when I speak? He says, well, it's all your lot who came over from Ireland in the 1900s and took the jobs
Ooh.
from under us, and he went into this kind of immigrant, historic kind of toxic bile that he started, coming out with. And I put my hand up and I said, I'm going to stop you there. If that's your intention, if you are trying to set yourself up as as a leader in terms of this training and in terms of developing people, surely you need to take a look at yourself in terms of looking at your own mission, vision, value, and purpose, and if you're in alignment with that. Because what I'm hearing is that you're not in alignment with that, and certainly from that point of view, I wouldn't like to work in your organization. So no, I won't be taking this conversation any further. And I left the
Mm.
room. So again, collaboration is all about ensuring that alignment, mission, vision, value, and purpose is in alignment, and that's how we that's how we grow and move and develop. I think as human beings.
Yeah, well, and that having your own standards and boundaries, which
Yeah,
I'm going to drop the link for next week's show because anybody who's hearing this, making sure you want your standards and boundaries,
yeah. It's got to be
come
standards,
join
and
us because
it's got to be
as you can,
standards and boundaries.
yeah, it's so important for good collaborations.
Yeah,
And yeah, and I think that's a good place to leave them, Seamus, is
yeah,
set your standards and boundaries so that you have good collaborations. And when something like this, because those are horror stories, those are both horror stories,
yeah.
have the don't be nice. Don't be nice. Nice is not being kind. That's being nice is just people pleasing.
Be
Don't be
honest.
nice.
Be
Don't put
honest.
yourself in that
Yeah,
situation. Say no like Seamus did and move on because it's
yeah.
not worth it. It's not worth your mental health for
It's
that.
not. Absolutely not.
It's not.
Absolutely not.
Well, Seamus, thank you so much for this. This was amazing. We've had
I'm
hopefully
so
everybody is a lot
Heidi.
more
Heidi,
happy with collaborations.
I'm so disappointed that we're at the end of the show. I mean, as I've said already, I'm just moving into second gear now. I could do this all day. Honestly, we should have a summit. We should have a
I
summit.
know that's the problem. We do these conversations, and there's so much we could talk about, but we've got to let them go. We've kept them a captive audience long enough for now, and we don't want to give them too much. But yeah, so thank you so much for all of this, Seamus, and thank you so much to our audience for bringing your energy, your questions, your
Absolutely.
thoughts to this conversation because you're the reason we do this. And for anybody who could not join us live, please drop your biggest takeaways and your questions in the comments with the hashtag replay. Seamus and I will make sure we pop back by and answer them. And thank you all. Thank you, Willie. Thank you for joining us everywhere. Oh, we get the
Hi.
baby.
And a goodbye from Flora, our little King Charles Cavalier, who's
Aw.
just come up and seen me because she's indicated to me now by her presence that I've just taken too long chatting, so
See, we
I
have
need
to
to give
let
her some
them go as
attention.
well for
Yeah.
Flora.
There
So
you go.
thank you, everyone.